I'm here at the Battle Mosque in the heart of Morden, South London. We're here on a cold, wet Friday night to help those that are less fortunate. Members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association will get together in their own spare time on a Friday evening to help the homeless. These will be around various locations in London itself. We're going to take you upstairs to show you how it's done. So here we are now at the kitchen itself. This is where all the cooking is done for members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community themselves that may want to come in for their daily meal. Beyond that, this kitchen actually also helps those that are in need, i.e. the people that the youth will actually be working with today. So the guys themselves will actually be taking food from here, which is a pot designated just for the giving of food to the homeless. And this is done on a weekly basis every Friday, as you can see, and then distributed to the less fortunate. Of course, the kitchen does more than that. These guys will cook for weddings and other events that may be taking place here at the mosque. So community members that may want to be getting married at the mosque itself will use the catering here as well. It comes at a fraction of the cost as typical caterers, and of course everything's done on site as well. So it makes everything a lot more fresh and it tastes a lot better as well, and I can tell you that from my own self. I'm here now with one of the members of the homeless feeding team. So would you like to introduce yourself to everybody watching?
My name is Tahim.
Okay, and how old are you?
10.
Perfect. And is this the first time that you're doing this kind of work?
Yes.
First time. How are you finding it?
Fun.
Yeah. So are these your friends as well? Are they your relatives or?
Relative. That one over there is my cousin.
Okay. And these other guys?
They're just helping with like the work and everything.
Okay. So what have you done so far? There's loads of cards at the moment. There's food over there. So what have you done today?
I've been packing all these bags and taking them out of the box to put them cards inside.
Oh, okay. So what's the cards? What do they say on them? Should we have a look? Do you want to read that out to everybody?
The Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association.
Yeah, and that's who it's from, yeah? So that's
Yeah.
going out to everybody. And do you want to grab one of those bags and show everybody what's in one of those bags?
Inside the bag is a crisp packet,
Okay.
a water bottle,
Yeah.
and a card.
What's the reason for today occurring? How have you managed to bring so many people in?
Right, okay. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Kashif and I'm the National Coordinator for Welfare Programs and Charities. Well, today is another homeless feeding session, but today is slightly different. It's very close to Christmas, so we thought we'll do something special for the needy and the homeless. And we've got, mashallah, a good number of turnout, a lot of youngsters involved today. And we're basically preparing dal chawal, which is our usual menu for the Fridays. But today we're actually also including chocolates and greeting cards. And
That's what these bags are.
that's what these bags contain. So chocolates, crisps, greeting cards, and also serving hot tea as we go along. So we've got about 3 cars, about 15 volunteers today.
Brilliant.
And we've coordinated, we're distributing at multiple areas within London, primarily Target Westminster area. That's where most homeless people are.
Okay.
So we've got a plan in place that will, mashallah, hopefully, inshallah, come to action within a few hours.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, we were showing the viewers earlier as well how cold it really is out there. Obviously, you're not going to be able to feel it there at home, but it really is very cold out there. It's raining as well. It's a miserable Friday night close to Christmas.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys do to help keep these less fortunate warm as well?
Yes, so as some of you might have heard or read the news, 2 weeks ago, a homeless person died on the coldest night of this season's winter.
Yeah.
So we thought, what can we do about it? So we reached out to our local members. We aimed to collect clothes from the local community. Some members even reached out to collect clothes from their employees, colleagues, and friends.
Right.
So we, by the grace of Allah, we managed to, get hold of women's and men's clothes. We've got 1 car full fully loaded with clothes only.
Perfect.
So we'll be out there distributing clothes to keep those guys, to give them something special during Christmas, but especially during this cold winter.
And how do people react when you're out there actually speaking to them to see a friendly face? Because these people may not have relatives or friends that might care too much about them. To see faces like this every single week, because obviously you do it every week, how does it make them feel?
I think there are two sides. The one side is, how does it make the homeless feel? They really appreciate if somebody comes up to them and gives them hot food.
Yeah.
But even talking to them, sometimes they suffer from social problems, mental problems. So even talking to them, I think, makes a big difference. But for these guys in particular, the youngsters in particular, I think it's a very unique and distinct experience. Being able to see how it's like to have nothing. We sometimes take for granted the 3 meals we have a day, but some of our brothers and sisters, they do not have that privilege. So for youngsters to go out there and do something positive, I think it teaches you as an individual, but it also helps you to do something for the society. I think that's the main part. Any humanitarian effort which we strive to do needs to have a positive impact.
So we've just finished off all of the packing at the mosque and we've just headed out now. So I'm sitting here with one of the drivers. So would you like to just explain where we're going and what's actually happened, how much food you've packed and what the plan is now?
Yes, so basically we've just left the modern mosque. There's about, I'd say about 12 to 15 members heading up to Charing Cross. We've packed approximately somewhere in the region of about 250 to possibly 300 packets of food. We're going to head down there. We're going to obviously park up, start distributing food to the less fortunate people. As you can see, it's pretty cold night out there. It's pretty wet as well, so I'm sure we go down a treat. Just looking forward to just getting down there and just lending a hand back to the community.
So is it just Charing Cross that you're looking to visit today? I know that you said there's about 15 members, so that's a lot of people going to one location.
We're covering various locations. Obviously we're going to Charing Cross, as I mentioned. I'm going to be heading towards Waterloo, Victoria, and I think there might be one or two other locations in the centre of London where we're going to be able to distribute some of the food. Some of the food that we've got rice, we've got lentils, we've got crisps, water, and we've also got a greetings card. Obviously this time of year, you can imagine people that are less fortunate, homeless, may not have other people to confide in, and it's just nice to give them, as well as the food, give them a little seasonal greeting, make them feel like there is a sort of an avenue out there. There are people out there that still care and want to obviously make them feel wanted.
So obviously it's the festive season where it's December the 23rd, so we're only a couple of days away from Christmas itself. I know obviously you don't celebrate it, but at the same time it's definitely a time to get together with the family. It's time off work, it's time to settle for many people around the country. So why is it that you've chose to instead actually volunteer your time and give back to the community? Why wouldn't you prefer to just be at home with a nice hot cup of soup and be wrapped up warm on such a miserable night?
Well, to be honest with you, I will use the word privilege. I feel, someone in my position, for example, and I'll talk for myself, and in fact the people that are coming to help, we're quite privileged in the sense of that we get to see family on a day-to-day basis. We get to do things like get together and have food and laugh about things that have happened in the past. A lot of these people haven't had that for a very long time, if not at all. So time is one of the most precious commodities on this planet, and it's only a couple of hours of my time. It's not going to change. It's not going to certainly change my night or my life, but it will definitely change someone else's. And that's why we've got together to give our time up. This time of year, yeah, we don't celebrate it, but Christmas is that sort of period where, what do we celebrate? It's more of a gathering. We get together, we get families together, we get friends together. And these people, unfortunately, they're not in that position to do that. So we're able to give up some of our time, give back to these people. Like I say, it's all about letting them feel like there are people out there who do care, and it's not just falling on deaf ears or, blind eyes.
Okay. If you'd like to introduce yourself for the viewers at home.
Yeah, my name's James McHugh. I'm formerly a British citizen, but I emigrated to America and have ended up having to come back.
So, I mean, do you have family here? Are you living with family at the moment?
No, my wife and son are in America. I'm separated.
Oh, wow, okay. And then over here, who are you living with here then at the moment?
I'm not. I'm literally living on the streets. I'm going to my brother's at Christmas, but he doesn't have the ability to hold me permanently. He doesn't have the room or the money.
And what's it like to actually be out here? It's freezing cold. I mean, for people like so many of us that just get to go home to a nice warm bed. What's it like to be out in the street in the freezing cold?
I'm really one of the ones who's on the street. There's not that too many here.
Right.
There is some here, and it is freezing cold. It's not a game. My legs became really badly infected. Do you want to see?
Yeah, by all means, yeah, if the camera wants to zoom into that.
It's common. It's not uncommon.
Oh, wow.
And they're nearly better now, but 2 years ago, I nearly had one of them taken off.
Wow, really?
It's very common for homeless people.
So what is that condition? Is that just from the cold, or is that anything else?
It's called cellulitis, and if you get a nick in the skin, it gets infected because you've got poor circulation from sitting all the time.
Wow.
You don't get to sleep in a normal way, so the water builds up in your legs, and it seeps out.
And you said that might have had to come off, that leg?
Yeah, both of them. Both were bad. Both were really bad, yeah. And it is common. It's not uncommon at all.
I mean, you were mentioning earlier as well something quite tragic has happened in your life as well recently. Would you like to let the viewers know what's happened?
Yeah, yesterday I was in the e-shop trying to get my phone fixed so I could make some calls to go back to America. And I was in there literally only about 10 minutes. The only time I've ever left my dog, he always comes here. Somebody stole him.
Stolen, wow.
Yeah.
That's just their daylight robbery, essentially.
Yeah. For no reason. I mean, I spent the whole day, telling the police, telling all the places that look after dog sanctuaries, trying to get him back, and I have to wait and see.
I mean, that's probably the most devastating thing. I mean, you say you're alone, you've got your dog, which is probably your best friend at the moment, and that being snatched away from you as well must be terrible to have.
After being told to leave my wife and my son, and it wasn't by choice, so I had a very good marriage, and then this happens, I've got nothing left.
That's awful, absolutely awful. I mean, for people that are living much more comfortable life, what's the sort of message that you would say to them to help people in a situation such as yourself?
Find out like I had to. I mean, I thought a lot of these people here were just rubbish, that they were lazy and all the rest, and I found out it's not the truth. It's the opposite. Most of them work, and unfortunately don't have enough money to actually pay for rent. So that's why they're on the streets. They're not idle in any way.
And obviously during this sort of festive season that it is, where people are told to be closer to their family and give more out of their own time, how would you recommend those that have spare time, that have that extra bit of cash maybe lying around, to help people in the community that may be in a position such as this?
Yeah, you need to really think about what the government's been saying about it. And the government doesn't really actually go down on the streets. Yes, there's young people homeless, and yes, they should be helped, but there's many older ones as well, and they need it as well. The older ones are very vulnerable. There's women here who are in their 80s, and they're not stupid, they're not dumb, they work, but they can't afford to get anywhere to live, they have no pensions.
Right. And I mean, when you see people coming out in their numbers, especially on a night like this, to hand out food and clothes, how does that make you feel?
It's good. It makes a complete difference. I mean, I keep on saying to people who do it, we have arguments here sometimes, but the reality is they're keeping us alive. And it actually does keep a person alive. The hot food and the camaraderie actually keeps us alive.
That's perfect. I think that's absolutely brilliant. It really means a lot for you giving us your time. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.